Well, good evening, and thank you to Elena and the entire crew at Equality Ohio for this tremendous honor. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to assist them in identifying people from Southwest Ohio who are advocates and allies for this cause. And I can't overstate my surprise when I learned that I was to receive an award from Equality Ohio this year. Congratulations to all my fellow honorees. I salute you for the great work that you're doing across our great state. As I thought about this award and what it means to me, I went back in my head to just a couple of months ago, the night that Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. And when that news hit me here at home, I was incredibly emotional. In fact, I cried probably more than I have in years, and I really couldn't stop. And for a while, I wasn't sure why. And then I realized that I was feeling deeply the very real risk that existed in her passing for all of us that care about equality. And I was concerned for the women I know and the right to control our own destiny. And I was concerned for my brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ community, fearing that the rights that they have fought so hard to attain, especially the right to marriage, might not stand true. And so as I think about that, and I think about what's yet to come, I'm feeling hopeful at the moment, but I give you my pledge that if things start to change, I'll be there and I'll be with you and I'll be on the front lines helping to make sure that we preserve the rights that this community deserves now and forever. The beginnings of my allyship go back to actually my teenage years, which were a number of decades ago. And my very first job, professional position, was at the Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park. And here I was, this straight, cisgender Catholic girl who went to a same-sex high school and grew up in a large conservative Catholic family. And all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by colleagues who are theater people, and many of them were members of the LGBTQ community. And so I found myself immersed in a world that at the time was completely foreign to me. But, you know, I instantly could tell that it was interesting and glamorous and a lot of fun. And all those folks just embraced me as the new kid on the block and made me feel welcome. And it made me a lifelong ally. I've enjoyed every minute of the work that I've done with Equality Ohio. I have such respect for the staff and the passion and commitment that they have around working to make sure that the LGBTQ community has every freedom and every right that they deserve. And I have appreciated the sincere efforts they've made to bridge gaps between communities. I happen to be able to witness their strong work at bringing together businesses across the state with Ohio Business Competes. And it's nothing short of remarkable that they have been able to bring a conversation to business and to show them why it's important to support that legislation in the state of Ohio. As I think about the future of the community and throughout the state of Ohio, first and foremost, let's just get it done in the State House. You know, let's make sure that that Fairness Act passes. I want my friends, my relatives, the larger community to be able to feel safe and secure, whether they're inside the city limits of the big three or any place else in the state. So let's start there and work out. I think there are a lot of people in this country and right here in Ohio who we might say don't get it. And I'm respectful of that. I'm also respectful of people's deeply held religious beliefs that may make this a difficult topic for them. And one of the things I've learned in my work in inclusion over the last decade is that as we look at implicit bias and we look at what that means and how it manifests in the world, that the researchers at Harvard who sort of developed that whole concept have discovered that there's one place over the last decade or so where there has been real movement toward a population where there was a lot of bias present and negative bias, and it shifted to more positive, and that's in this community, the LGBTQ community. And so they dug deeper to find out why that might be true. And the second reason was media portrayals, positive media portrayals. So if we think about television and the way we see people in film and lots of other settings today, and as prominent leaders in politics and other places, that makes a difference in how people perceive. And then the number one reason, though, was proximity. And that is, with the population that we have today feeling greater freedom and the ability to live their full lives and to bring their whole selves to work and to our communities, there just aren't too many people anymore who don't know someone who's in this community. And when you know someone, and it's somebody who's your next door neighbor, or it's someone that is in the cubicle two down from you at work, it's very difficult over time to continue to sit in a position of either ignorance or hate. And when you get to know somebody well, it makes all the difference in the world. I remember we built a cultural competence program in the organization that I just left. And one of our leaders, and one of the leaders who was in that program, came from a very conservative religious background. And while he had had exposure across racial lines, he was a white man, across racial lines over his lifetime, he had really not ever spent much time in the company of anyone who was gay. And in this program, he made fast friends with a member of the community. And now, a year or more later, they are continuing to connect and to grow together as friends. And it's just one of those sort of singular examples of how that proximity and being in a frame of mind where one is open to the possibility of growth and change, where that can really happen. I'm hoping that some of my friends in the community are watching this tonight, and I want to thank all of you for making my life richer with your presence and friendship and support. You have taught me so much about how to be strong, about how to be free, about showing up as your full selves. And you've taught me a lot about love and partnership and how to be a good partner and just how to love each other. Thank you for that.